Hello everyone, welcome back to Biophilia, your all-time study mate. Today we are going to continue with the fifth part of the chapter with animal breeding. If you like our video and get any help to understand the concepts, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our amazing channel Biophilia. In the previous video, we had understood about animal husbandry, जहाँ पे हमने देखा था how the animals are raised and taken care of. तो उसमें एक concept ये भी था that how the animals are going to be bred. So animal caring भी आता है, animal breeding में आता है. So now let's understand what is animal breeding. So animal breeding is going to have a aim that is to increase the yield of animals and improve the desired qualities of the produce. यानी जब जैसे आपने प्लांट ब्रीडिंग देखा था इन आर वीडियोस, similarly even plant breeding is to be taken out so that whatever the qualities desired traits you expect in an animal उसकी ब्रीडिंग करके आप उस हिसाब से जेनेटिक वेरिएशंस ला सकते हो. So generally what are the objectives that you look for animal breeding? So first of all, you like to have improved growth rate, you like to have increased production. तो production हो सकता है depending upon the animal. It can be for the increased production of milk, it can be for meat, eggs or wool. So it depends on what animal you are going to choose for breeding. अब जब ये प्रोडक्शन इम्प्रूव हो चुका है, दैट मीन्स क्वांटिटी हैज़ बीन इंक्रीज. सो वंस द क्वांटिटी हैज़ बीन इंक्रीज, now we need to increase that is quality. So superior quality of whatever your production is there, that would be your next objective. अब जब ये सब हो चुका है, now you think that अभी जो ब्रीड हमने बनाई है उसको कोई डिसीज़ ना हो और वो प्रोडक्शन कम ना हो जाए. So for that you also need to have improved resistance to various diseases. And once the disease has been resisted, now you have to increase the productive life. यानी जो समझो अगर egg producing hen है, that hen is giving eggs for 2 years. Now you would expect that with animal breeding, if it is possible to have the hen to lay eggs for 3 to 5 years, ऐसे कोई breeding से अगर help हो रही हो, then you would like to have that increased productive life. Then increased reproductive rate, so that whenever the reproductive rate increases, आपको जल्दी जल्दी new offsprings मिलेंगे, so you do not have any link break between your breeding program. So these are some of the objectives that people take care while animal breeding. Now let us understand by various methods the animal breeding can be taken care of. So animal breeding में these methods are going to be the natural ways by which little human interaction can occur and you can carry out this animal breeding types. So first is going to be the inbreeding types. अब inbreeding क्या होता है? In is going to be between the breeds. So when you are going to mate, or that means when you are going to choose the two animals which are going to be closely related individuals and they are going to be coming from the same breed, very important, inbreeding है, so they will be coming from the same breed and that too within 4 to 6 generations. So 4 to 6 generations के अंदर के जो भी animals होंगे, you are going to breed them and that would be called as inbreeding. So what is the strategy behind inbreeding? You are going to take the superior male and you are going to have the superior female. So superior male, आप कैसे define करोगे? Superior male, that means if the male is going to be having good quality meat. So meat quality अगर बहुत अच्छी है, so generally males are used for meat purposes. So males का अगर meat production अच्छा है, and if the females are having, say for example, milk production is good, or egg laying production is good, or such wool is good, all that things that the female is going to provide, अगर वो अच्छी quality का है, then you are going to choose the superior male and the superior female of the same breed. Very important, every time it is going to be the same breed and that too will be in the 6 generations. So उनको पेयर में मेट किया जाएगा and that would be the strategy for the inbreeding method. So what is the major disadvantage? Inbreeding जब भी होता है, in this inbreeding you are going to choose the same breed, even that you are going to have 4 to 6 generations within animals. यानी समझो आपके जो ग्रैंडफादर होंगे, ग्रैंडफादर की आपकी फर्स्ट जनरेशन हो गई, उनके जो बच्चे हो गए, दैट इज योर फादर, and your mother's generation. That is going to be the second generation. Then you are born. Okay, that means there are three generations. Like that, there are going to be 4 to 6 generations of the animals. So 4 to 6 generations के अंदर as now you are studying science, now you should know that genes जो pass on होंगे वो genes same होंगे. So there is not majority of the change that occurs into the genes. So 4 to 6 generations, so जैसे 3 generations में आपको बहुत बार सुनने को मिलता होगा that your grandson looks like the grandfather. So in this condition 3 generations में भी if you are having identical characteristics, that means हो सकता है that inbreeding is going to increase homozygosity. यानी जो भी genes है, as you have studied about the genetics chapters, that was about the Mendel having P functioning, और बहुत सारे ह्यूमन जीन्स के बारे में भी आपने पढ़ा. सो इफ द alleles are going to be having the same homozygous condition, so disease conditions बढ़ने के chances होते हैं. So inbreeding is going to increase homozygosity. And even because of inbreeding, since you are breeding between the same family, that is same breed, that is going to be exposure to harmful recessive traits. हार्मफुल रिसेसिव ट्रेट्स जो पहले डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन की वजह से एलिमिनेट हो चुके थे, नाउ दीज कैन कम बैक बिकॉज समवेयर और द अदर इन दैट जनरेशन लाइन वो ट्रेट प्रेजेंट था. सो विद दैट एक्सपोजर टू हार्मफुल ट्रेट्स कैन ऑल्सो बी पॉसिबल. सो दैट वॉज द डिसएडवांटेज. अब एडवांटेज क्या हो सकता है? इन ब्रीडिंग अब लोग फॉलो करते हैं, सो देयर माइट बी सम एडवांटेजेस. So there are 2 advantages of inbreeding. The first one, that is maintenance of pure line. यानी समझो आपके पास कोई बहुत अच्छी breed है, that is the best breed that you can have or what can you expect. उस condition में अगर आपको same characteristics maintain रखने हैं, then you are going to go for inbreeding. Now if you want to accumulate the superior characters and you want to eliminate, so उस condition में भी you can go for inbreeding, यानी maintenance या accumulation of superior genes. In both the conditions you can obtain the inbreeding variety. So inbreeding से disadvantages भी है, but similarly you are also going to have advantages. So you have to decide that on what conditions you want to choose the method of animal breeding. मूविंग अहेड विद द इनब्रीडिंग. अब इनब्रीडिंग अगर बार बार हो रही, जैसे आपको एडवांटेजेस बताए गए, आपको अच्छा लग गया दैट यू आर गोइंग टू मेंटेन द सुपीरियर जीन्स एंड यू आर गोइंग टू अक्यूमुलेट देम एज वेल. सो ये पता करके नाउ यू आर वेरी हैप्पी दैट एवरी टाइम आई एम गोइंग टू कीप द सुपीरियर जीन्स ओनली, आई डोंट वांट टू इंट्रोड्यूस एनी न्यू जीन. सो उस कंडीशन में अगर आपने बहुत बार इनब्रीडिंग कंटिन्यू रखा with this idea that you don't want to introduce any new gene, then in that case there is going to be reduction in fertility. And that means when the fertility is reduced, आगे जाके हो सकता है कि fertility नहीं होने की वजह से productivity भी कम हो जाए. So you might have heard a story about a hen giving golden eggs. So golden eggs दे रही है hen, so patience नहीं है, you are keep on trying about to get the golden egg, and finally you are going to cut that hen open to search for eggs in her stomach. So वैसी ही बात हो गई in inbreeding, that if you are going to keep on accumulating the superior genes, हो सकता है कि बार बार inbreeding करने की वजह से जो आपको सुनहरी मुर्गी थी which were giving you superior traits, now fertility has also decreased, productivity has decreased, and now you don't have any other option, and in that condition you are going to call it inbreeding depression. Inbreeding depression because प्रोडक्टिविटी कम हो गई, फर्टिलिटी कम हो गई बिकॉज ऑफ कंटिन्यूड इनब्रीडिंग. अब ये गलती से गलत चीज़ हो गई. नाउ यू डिड नॉट नो, नाउ एज यू नो दैट देयर इज इनब्रीडिंग डिप्रेशन, अ वेरी बिग थ्रेट दैट कैन occur because of greediness. Now what is the solution to inbreeding depression? knowingly unknowingly animals के बीच में inbreeding depression हो जाता है, then the selected animals are going to be mated with the unrelated superior animals जिनके बारे में दूर दूर तक ये एनिमल रिलेटेड नहीं होगा. इन दैट कंडीशन यू आर गोइंग टू मेट दैट पर्टिकुलर एनिमल, एंड दैट शुड बी अगेन ऑफ द सेम ब्रीड. सेम ब्रीड होना ज़रूरी है. इफ़ द ब्रीड चेंजेस देन इट विल नॉट बी कॉल्ड इन ब्रीडिंग डिप्रेशन सोल्यूशन. So unrelated superior animals से breed करने के बाद the fertility as well as the productivity, that is the yield, is going to be restored up to a certain egg. So with this you now understood कि एक ही चीज़ बार बार करने से भी तकलीफ हो सकती है, that is nothing but inbreeding. So now I would also like to help you to understand, जैसे I told you how the genes are going to get accumulated because of 4 to 6 generations के अंदर ही अगर mating हो रहा है. So for example, in the first generation, as you can see over here, in the first generation you are going to have capital A and a small a, and other animal is having both the capital A. Now when their progeny was formed, there were many options. एक animal में दोनों capital A आ गए, दो animals में there was capital A and a small a. Now because of inbreeding, what did you do? There was mating between the sister and brother, and in that case what happened, जो capital A और capital A का जो जोड़ी था उसमें ऐसा हो गया, because of inbreeding there was a high chance that the both small a came together, that was homozygosity, और ये homozygosity recessive trait है. So generally recessive trait is not exposed because it might be harmful. So harmful है इसीलिए वो recessive होता है generally. So now once it has been expressed because of inbreeding, that is the reason you try to avoid inbreeding. अब उसके लिए क्या होगा solution is going to be outbreeding. That means you are not going to choose the animal for a breeding who is coming from the same generation. So you did not choose the animal that was coming from the first generation or from the second generation, you chose an animal which was coming from some other x particular generation. So x location से जो animal आया, with that now you call it as a outbreeding. So outbreeding जो होगा, in that condition you won't have the recessive trait showing. So recessive trait अगर नहीं आएंगे, that means the animal could be saved from the recessive traits. So with this now you can understand that repeated inbreeding is going to call inbreeding depression, and that could be solved because of a unrelated superior animals breeding. So I hope you understood this particular explanation very well, and even the inbreeding depression. The second method that can be used for animal breeding is outbreeding. Outbreeding यानी you are not going to choose the related animals, उसके जगह पे you will be having breeding between unrelated animals. और unrelated animals में से भी you can have options, that is you are going to choose no common ancestors for 4 to 6 generations, then it will be called as a outcrossing. If you are choosing different breeds, then you are going to call it as a crossbreeding. And if you are choosing different species altogether, then it will be called as interspecific hybridization. So यहाँ पे हमने 3 चीज़ों के बारे में देखा है. The first one, that is outcrossing, second that is crossbreeding, and the third one, that is interspecific hybridization. So now let's understand about these in detail one by one. The first one we have to understand, that is outcrossing. Outcrossing is different from outbreeding. Outbreeding के अंदर outcrossing आता है, wherein outcrossing is a practice of mating of animals within the same breed. So in outcrossing, same breed is going to be maintained. There will be no common ancestors on either sides, यानी मेल पे भी नहीं, फीमेल पे भी नहीं, दोनों भी साइड पे there should not be any common ancestors for up to 4 to 6 generations. And there will be best breeding methods when there are going to be below average milking cows, यानी जिनका productivity कम है, या for example whose growth rate of beef cattle is low. All such breeding methods are going to be used so that the productivity of milk or beef can be increased in the case of those animals like cows or buffaloes. And one outcross is going to often help you to overcome inbreeding depression. So inbreeding depression का जो हमने solution discuss किया था, that once you mate the animal with another unrelated superior animal, that is nothing but outcrossing. So as over here you can see 2 dogs. So generally outcrossing can be easily understood, that if people who have dogs will able to understand it much more easier. So here are 2 Labradors, as you know. that one is white in color, one is black in color. Both are same breeds. So same breeds है यानी Labrador Retriever is the breed. They both are of the same breed, but these are not brothers and sisters up to 4 to 6 generations. So if the breeding is taken place between this cream and black Labrador, then whatever the progeny is going to come is going to be a result of outcrossing method of animal breeding. So I hope you understood. Same breed यानी both the dogs are going to be Labrador Retriever, बस उनकी कोई family history नहीं होगी which is common between the two, that is the male and the female. Now the second one that we are discussing under crossing is going to be cross breeding. Cross breeding yani cross means different. So when there are going to be two different breeds that are going to be involved is going to be called as cross breeding. इसके पहले जो हमने out crossing के बारे में पढ़ा था, that was wherein the same breeds were considered, but now here there will be superior males of one breed and the superior females of another breed. So there will be two breeds involved and both the desirable qualities are going to be combined. So desirable qualities of the male breed and the female breed is going to be combined, and then a new breed is going to take place. So for example, just as we took the examples of dog for the previous method, यहाँ पे भी हम देखेंगे to understand about the cross breeding. So you might have heard that in dogs there was the when you take a dog you ask whether it is a crossbreed or not. So crossbreed अब जब पूछते हो तो आप क्या expect करते हो, that there are going to be mother and father coming from the same breed, so that there is no mixing of two breeds and your dog that you are purchasing is of same breed or pure line breed. So in that case pure line maintenance के लिए you are going to choose inbreeding. But in some case by mistakenly when the dog breeding takes place between two different breeds, for example अगर Labrador और बॉक्सर ब्रीड के अंदर ब्रीडिंग हो जाती है, दैट इज द पीपल हु हैव डॉग्स और हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ डॉग्स, दे नो दैट लैब्राडोर एंड बॉक्सर कम फ्रॉम डिफरेंट ब्रीड्स. So when two different breeds are bred together, there is formation of a new breed that is called as cross breed, and that will be like Labrador and Boxer combined together, that is Boxador. So it will have the characteristics of both, that is Labrador as well as Boxer. That was an example regarding dogs. वैसे ही अगर sheep के केस में consider करें, then there was a new breed that was developed in Punjab that was called as Hirsadale. So Hirsadale was a new breed of sheep that was done because of crossing between Bikaneri Eves and Miro Rams. So Rams are going to be the males and the Eves are going to be the female breed. So over here as you can see the Eves and the Rams, there is Bikaneri Eves and Merino Rams which are going to give the crossbreed that is Hirsadale developed in Punjab. Now there are some other examples of crossbreeding about the cattle. So current Swiss is going to be a breed that was developed at National Dairy Research Institute in Karnal. It is the long form for NDRI. So NDRI is again going to be a very important long form that you need to remember. जैसे हमने plant breeding के time पे we had studied about IVRI. So that was IVRI which needs to be remembered. There was one more term that was IRRI. So even like these full long forms, even NDRI is going to be one of the short forms जिनका long form आपको याद रखना ज़रूरी है. So now over here the National Dairy Research Institute, which is present in Haryana, had crossed breed between the two cows. The first one was Sahiwal cow, which was the local indigenous breed, and it was mixed with the semen of brown Swiss bulls. So bulls was the second breed, that was the brown Swiss, which was imported from US. So as you can see up here in the first image, that is when the brown Swiss bulls and the Sahiwal cows were bred together, a new breed was considered, that was current Swiss. The second example is going to be Sunandi. So it was originated in Kerala. जैसे पहले वाला हरियाणा में बनाया गया था, वैसे Sunandi was originated in Kerala and it was the result of crossing between a local nondescript यानी जो आप बोलते हो देसी गाय जिसको आप कोई ब्रीड में कंसिडर नहीं करते हो, लाइक दैट काउ वॉज ब्रेड विथ द exotic, that is Jersey, Brown Swiss and Holstein Friesian breeds. So when it was bred, the result that was the crossbreed called as Sunandi. So with these two examples and the example of sheep and dog as well, I hope you understood how the crossbreeding actually takes place. Now let us see the next one, that is going to be about currant fries, which is originated at NDRI, that is National Dairy Research Institute, that is in Karnal, Haryana. और वहाँ पे क्रॉसिंग हुआ था between Tharparkar and the Holstein Friesian, which is going to be considered as the best breed for cow's milk production. So that was currant fry. So you can see up here in the first image how the Holstein and Tharparkar was bred to get the currant fries. Fourth example is going to be about Friswal, which is a crossbreed between Holstein Friesian and the Sahiwal cows. So that is going to give you Friswal as a new breed, that is a crossbreed between the two different breeds. Now let's understand about the interspecific hybridization. Interspecific है यानी inter is going to be mean as different and specific means there are going to be more than one species. So when more than one species is considered, यानी male or female जो होंगे which are going to take place in mating are going to come from two different related species. Very important to remember, that is they will be different but they will be related species which are going to be mated to form a new interspecific hybrid. So over here जैसे पहले वाले में हमने क्रॉस ब्रीड बोला था, वैसे इनके जो ऑफस्प्रिंग्स होंगे हम उसे हाइब्रिड बोलेंगे. So one of the hybrid is called as mule, which is a cross between the male donkey. So to remember, male donkey and a female horse, then that is going to give you the hybrid, that is mule. Then the Hinny is also one more interspecific hybrid, which is going to be a cross between female donkey and a male horse. So very well you should be remembering the difference between mule and the Hinny. Mule में male donkey होता है, whereas in Hinny the male is a horse. So because of that variations, the hybrid is going to have different names, that is mule and hinny. So generally इनका hybrid क्यों बनाया जाता है? Because there are some characteristics of horses, like they are going to have very fast running abilities, they are going to have long legs. The donkey is going to have the ability to have much more weight bearing capacity. और ये सब चीज़ें, ये जो क्वालिटीज़ है उनको अगर मिक्स किया जाए, देन अ न्यू ब्रीड इज कंसिडर्ड, दैट इज म्यूल. सो जो म्यूल होता है दैट इज खच्चर. सो जो हिली एरियाज पे जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में या जिसके ऊपर आप बैठ के एंजॉय करके हिल स्टेशंस पे घूमते हो, ऑल दैट इज गोइंग टू बी मेनली बिकॉज ऑफ द म्यूल और द खच्चर जिसको बोलते हो. सो दैट इज नथिंग बट अ इंटरस्पेसिफिक हाइब्रिड. Now over here we are going to understand about controlled breeding experiments. So इसके पहले के जो breeding types थे, these were nothing but a bit natural methods जहाँ पे you are just selecting the breeds or you are selecting the species. But now here you are going to actually interfere into the reproductive or the mating process. So artificial insemination is the first method that we are going to consider to study. That is, whenever the semen is going to be collected from the male, or आप उसे as a human you are going to eject it into the reproductive tract of the selected female. So the male is not going to undergo copulation, but you as a human are going to inject it by the help of syringes or by other means. So जब आप उसको when you are introducing the semen into the female reproductive tract, that is going to be called as artificial insemination. So when the semen is not to be used immediately, आप उसे frozen way में भी रख सकते हो for storage purposes, or you can also use it immediately when the it is near use semen. अगर आपको कोई ऐसा exotic bulls का semen मिला है, then in that case you can collect a large amount of semen, keep it at a frozen condition, and whenever you have the desired female cow to be artificially inseminated, then you can defreeze it and the insemination process can be carried out. So what is the major advantage that the artificial insemination is going to overcome? So it is going to overcome the problems of normal matings. So many are cases there can be problems within the bull, that in the case that the bull is not capable of inseminating it into the female tract. So उस conditions में आप उसे collect करके आप introduce करा सकते हो with the help of artificial insemination. So as it is considered or carried out in animals, even in humans case also artificial insemination is carried out, and I hope you must have recalled it from the chapter of human health. Human health chapter maybe we had covered about the artificial insemination that is carried out in art, that is assisted reproductive technologies. So similar as in the case of humans, animals may be artificial insemination होता है. So likewise you can also try to link the chapters that you have already studied, and that would help you to revise them as well as to keep a link between the chapters. So coming back to artificial insemination in animals, so because of the insemination you are going to have much more success rates, but हो सकता है कभी कभी even after artificial insemination the success rate is not achieved, and the male and the female maturity rate is low and it might not become successful at all times. So every time it is not possible to get the exact results that you wish to have. The second controlled breeding after artificial insemination wherein humans interact, that is going to be multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, that is MOET. Again this is going to be very important short form that you need to remember. जैसे हमने IVRI, IRRI, then NDRI, वैसे ही MOET is again short form, इसका long form आपको याद होना ज़रूरी है. Then in this technique what you are going to do is the cow is going to be administered by the FSH like hormone. So just for your revision sake, what does FSH do, or what is the full form of FSH? FSH is going to be follicular stimulating hormone. So the follicles are going to get stimulated when this hormone is going to be administered. जब follicles induce होंगे, the FSH when is introduced, there is follicle maturation induced, and there is going to be super ovulation. यानी एक साथ बहुत सारे follicles develop होंगे, बहुत बार ovulation होगा, and instead of one egg there will be production of 6 to 8 eggs in one cycle. So as you might have studied about human reproduction chapter, if you wish to know more about it और आपको revise करना है, then you would get those videos on our channel Biophilia. You can search for the playlist of human reproduction, wherein we have considered to understand the female reproductive tract, जहाँ पे we had also understood about the follicular maturation. So just like how it happens in humans, वैसे ही animals में भी होगा, but in this case instead of menstrual cycle there is going to be estrus cycle. So even in that case, instead of releasing one egg, there will be formation or release of 6 to 8 eggs because of additional FSH like hormone that was administered. So अभी अगर एक egg बाहर आता था within a cycle, then what could have happened? The cow could have given birth to only one calf. So now as you want to increase the productivity of the calves, instead of one egg, now you want to have the eggs of that particular cow in more number. So instead of one egg, hormones deke you have stimulated to produce 6 to 8 eggs. Now once the eggs are cultivated, now these are going to get fertilized. So fertilization is going to be carried out, and there will be the fertilized eggs at 8 to 32 cell stage. So 8 to 32 cell stage पे जब आएगा, then it can be non-surgically transferred to surrogate mothers. यानी very important thing to remember about in here is जो egg production जो होगा that will be coming from one cow, and the mother or the cow which is going to give birth is going to be second cow. सो एक काउ का सिर्फ एग यूज होगा, एक काउ का सिर्फ वूम्ब या यूट्रस यूज होगा. Why the eggs are used of one cow? Because the reason is the eggs जिनके काउ के लिए गए हैं, हो सकता है कि that particular cow has superior qualities. So superior qualities है, so you don't want her to take care of the calf, instead you just want her genetic material through the case of eggs. तो उसके सिर्फ eggs cultivate किए जाएंगे, and whatever the gestation period needs to be followed for the cows will be taken care by the other cows which are not having superior traits in their genetics. So वैसे cows को surrogate cows या surrogate mothers बना के उनका सिर्फ uterus use किया जाएगा to actually give birth and to develop the fertilized eggs which are going to be placed at 8 to 32 cell stage. सो ये जो मेथड है इट कैन बी यूज फॉर द केस ऑफ कैटल, यानी काउ के केस में यूज हो सकता है. इट कैन बी यूज इन द केस ऑफ शीप, रैबिट्स, बफेलोज एंड इवन मेयर्स. सो मेयर्स आर नथिंग बट गोइंग टू बी फीमेल horses. So female horses are mares. So in this condition you can see up here in the particular photograph that sperm is going to be taken with one bull. काउ से एग्स लिए जाएंगे और काउ से एग्स लेकर जो स्पर्म्स होंगे उनका मेटिंग होगा. दैट मीन्स देयर विल बी फर्टिलाइजेशन. The zygotes will develop. There will be at the stage of 8 to 32 weeks जो बहुत सारे eggs release हुए थे, that is 6 to 8 eggs. So those eggs are now going to be transferred to surrogate mothers. Now you can see up over here that the cow this is who is providing the egg is not the one who is providing the uterus. So that is going to be the second cow, and the second cow whose uterus has been used is going to give birth to the calf who has the genetic material of the first cow. So first and second cow mein I hope you understood how it actually occurs. Now about why do you have to do this multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. You need to do it because when there is going to be qualities like high milk yielding breeds. So high milk है यानी that is what you want from the females. So high milk yielding quality अगर female में है, that is in her genetics if it is possible, या if she has the high quality meat production. That is high quality meat को आप कैसे justify करोगे? Whenever the meat is going to be lean with less lipid, that is considered to be a high quality meat. So such high quality meat producing breed अगर है वो, that is bulls are high quality meat producing. If the cows are going to be high milk yielding, then in such conditions you are going to use their gametes, and the further fertilization and the gestation period is going to be taken care by the less supreme animals. So that was about the MOET, and with this we try to complete about the animal breeding. I hope you understood each and everything about animal breeding. Even in animal husbandry I had tried to explain you in the previous video. If you like these videos and get any help to understand the concepts in a better way, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our amazing channel. And will be coming soon with the next part of the video to complete this chapter. And till then, keep studying, keep smiling. Till then, we meet back again. Bye bye. Thank you.